The response to seeing something you don't like should never be to censor it. But unfortunately, that's the precise response that so many people in the West have in this day and age. We see this phenomenon crop up most recently with pro-life imagery. Graphic materials, images depicting abortions or aborted unborn children used by pro-life groups and pamphlets and signs to show people the reality and brutality of abortion. I'm sure you've seen these signs before in some form or another. You don't need to be pro-choice to not want to see them, and similarly, you don't need to be pro-life to believe that these are protected forms of free speech in Canada. In fact, if it makes you uncomfortable, that is exactly why free speech exists. We don't need protection from things that don't make us uncomfortable. We only need protection from things that are offensive or difficult or challenging to our sensibilities or those of society. But the Canadian Centre for Bioethical Reform, a pro-life advocacy group, has been dropping pamphlets that have these images on them into people's mailboxes in communities around Canada, most recently in Windsor, Ontario. One woman, Lauren Crowley, who works with an organization called Feminist for Action, got one and thinks that the government needs to legislate it so no one else has to see one of these pamphlets. Crowley says, in addition to frightening a child who might come across those images, you're also forcing those parents to answer questions or have conversations that they might not be ready to have with that child, which is in turn interfering with that guardian's right to raise that child how they deem fit. Crowley has lobbied city councillors, she's launched a media campaign, she's trying to get legislative action so that pro-life pamphlets can't be dropped in mailboxes. Now, if something were adopted by the city of Windsor, it wouldn't be the first time. Calgary has a bylaw that prohibits dropping in anyone's mailbox a non-commercial pamphlet if they have a no flyers or no junk mail sign on their box. This is something that was enacted in response to pamphlets from the very same organization, the Canadian Centre for Bioethical Reform. But there have also been some free speech victories when these sorts of materials have been challenged. Just recently, a man in Calgary had a ticket issued by Calgary Transit ripped up when he threatened a constitutional challenge. They said that he was distributing materials without the consent of the city, which in a free society, you do not need government consent to hand out pamphlets or materials on any political or public policy issue. Abortion is no exception to this. Now, obviously, I'm pro-life. I don't hide that, I don't conceal that, but more importantly, I'm willing to have a debate or discussion about this or any other issue with people in the country who wish to. And most pro-life activists are, which is why they stand on street corners and talk about abortion in the first place. They want to have the debate. But unfortunately, there is a contingent of the pro-choice opposition to these people that not just opposes, but wants them shut down, wants them barred from having demonstrations on campus, wants them barred from putting flyers in people's mailboxes, wants them barred from being able to advertise on buildings, billboards, bus advertisements, whatever the case may be. This is not what a free society needs to do when it comes to political or public policy issues. We need to run into the debate, not run away from it. And there's a reality to this, that only those who are not confident about their beliefs want the debate about those very beliefs shut down. You have the right to look away, you have the right to throw something out, you have the right to close your eyes, but you do not have the right to redact the world around you. For True North, I'm Andrew Lawton.